I am a believer in quantum immortality. I believe in quantum immortality because I have experienced leaving this earth, going to the in between, and coming back. I'll tell you the story. It was June of 2024. I was on methadone after being addicted to a certain substance that starts with an F. And I had gotten clean, and I had about 5 months of sobriety, and I had relapsed. Yeah, about 3 months of sobriety, actually. Let's just be more realistic. I had about 3 months of sobriety, and I relapsed. And I was living in the woods with my partner at the time, and I had hid some of that stuff that I had on me in my bag, and I had waited for him to leave, and I remember sending him to the store or something like that, or sending him off to go do something so that I could use. And he even was like, do not use when I'm not around, because like I was on methadone at this point, so the fact that I was mixing methadone with like using was really, it was a deadly consequence because I ended up dying. But I don't call it a near-death experience, I call it a total death experience, because what happened was, and this is the last thing I remember, okay, this is how it worked. And this is weird, like, you don't have to believe me or not, but this is what happened. I was sitting on the ground, and I had did what I had left, and all I remember is laying on the ground, looking up into the sky, because that's when it clicked that I was laying down. And I remember being like, why is my backpack on my stomach? And then the next thing I remember is I am in this room with these two women, and it's like they're at a desk, and all I know is I'm sitting there and I'm trying to convince them of something. That's what I remember, is I'm trying to convince them of something. I think I was trying to convince them that like I had the answer to go to the next, but I clearly didn't at that point. So they were like, no, you need to go back. And that's when I realized that in this room, there's these two women, but behind them, there was no wall. It was just like infinite infinity. And they were just these two women in, like, we were in a room, there was like a floor, but there was no wall in this room. It was just infinity behind them. Like, just like, as far as the eye could see, nothing. And I've realized that I was on the in-between. And I guess I didn't give them the right answer. So I came back. I came to, and I was standing like in the woods, like straight up. And it was like, you know, in a video game when you spawn and then you like come to and you're just like standing at like a spot that you were before. It was exactly like that. It was exactly like that. This is actually kind of what sent me down the rabbit hole of my spiritual awakening, and what I know, like what I know about everything now. Oh, I'm experiencing withdrawal. I waited too long to get my medicine, and I'm getting hot and cold flashes, but okay. And I remember I was confused about meeting these two women. Like, I thought that I had to go meet them later, and I was like talking to my boyfriend at the time saying, I have this meeting that I have to go to, and he's like, what are you fucking talking about? And then it clicked, and I was like, I think I died, and this is another life. And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, because I was laying right there. That's the last thing that I remember. And it all came flooding back to me, and I totally remember dying. I remember going to the in-between. I remember meeting those two women, and I remember respawning at the like foot of my like the place where we were staying in the woods. We have this like little spot in this dog park with like a tent, and it was all like, we ended up like taking a bunch of branches and making like a fence all the way around, and it was all flattened out. Like we had no grass on the ground. It was all just like a flat camping area that we had made, and they let us stay there. We ended up staying there for like 6 months. We just made sure that we brought all of our garbage out with us, and nobody bothered us. It was really nice. We just made sure that there was nothing that the dogs could eat, and we were welcome there. It was actually really nice. But I remember, and he was like, I was praying, and I was like looking at my boyfriend. I was like, you're not my Brett. Like, you're not my boyfriend. Like, you're not the same one. I don't know you. Like, I don't remember you. You don't know who I am. Like you're not the same person. And then, you know what? I'll explain that another time. It sounds way too crazy to believe, but yeah, I remember dying. I remember coming back, and from that point on, I have no longer feared death. I know that death is temporary. I know that it's not real. It's an illusion. Like, it's just a door that you walk through. And I wasn't supposed to remember what I remembered, but I did. And it wasn't the first time that it happened. I'll explain another time that it happened as well too, when I was in Vancouver. But yeah, it changed my life. It sent me down a rabbit hole of spirituality, and it changed the way that I see things. I no longer live with fear. I fear nothing, because no matter what you live, just not here. This is just a place that we come to like learn.